I'm double checking. Hello. Are we live? Are we live? Wait a minute. Okay, boys, we're live. Path of Exile has dropped the final part. Path of Exile has dropped part 5 of the gem updates. Boys, this is not a drill. I am not joking. Look at that. That's not an edit. This is no clickbait. Look at that. It's there, son. And I see righteous fire over there. But we're gonna get to it after we look through the other gems, okay? So we are gonna go through this slowly, boys. The VOD watchers, I'll try and put in the chapters later on, but for now, stick with me here, bear with me. We are gonna go through these gems one by one. Of course, the most significant gems I will react to, but you can just pause the live or the VOD later on if you guys want to read more details into it. I am gonna link the forum thread as well. I'm gonna edit that on the stream description. So I'm gonna put it there. Gems part 5. Save. Okay, boys, let's go. Let us read into it. Okay, so here's the 5th and final batch of transfigured gems coming in Path of Exile Affliction. What is this? First one, Bane of Condemnation. So what happens here is that applies a debuff to enemies in a small area which deals chaos damage over time. Link hex curses are also applied to those enemies. The debuff deals more damage and lasts longer for each hex applied this way. Skill cannot be used by totems. Only applies hexes from curse skills acquiring gem level 70 or lower. Second. Okay, so let's open up the wiki and see the differences between each so that we know what we're getting ourselves into, because, you know, I am a casual. I don't know everything about the game yet. I don't even think I plan to know everything about the game, as long as I know how to play well. As long as we know how to get to the end game. So what do we have here? Lower. Okay, same base value. Deals 895 base chaos damage per second. More damage per curse applied. 50% debuff duration per curse applied. Applied curses have 25% less effect. Okay. This one has... Oh, this is stronger. 60% more damage per curse applied. Yeah. And it has the double... It has a double debuff duration per curse applied. Oh, okay. Modifiers to spell damage applied to the skills. DOT. The same. It basically simplified it a little bit, but you cannot cast supported curse. You cannot cast supported curse spells. Oh, you can cast... Well, I know. The skill cannot be used by totems, crafts, or mines. Okay, that's clarified. So there's just a few words that have been adjusted, and the damage values. Base damage is still the same, but the scaling per curse applied and the debuff duration per curse applied has been increased, which is nice. Good buff for Bane. Bear Trap obscures. Throws a trap that damages and impales a single enemy. Oh, Bear Trap for impale focus. Is that right? Modifiers to spell damage do not affect this skill's damage. Traps do not trigger the end of the duration. Killing blows cause impales on enemies to reflect damage to surrounding enemies. 275% increased impale effect. Wow. Ooh. Yeah, it's an impaled version of the bear trap, because if I'm not mistaken, the bear traps usually can increase damage over time from bleeding. So this is actually pretty good for bossing as an impale build now. Oh, Impale Cyclone may show up again. Or impale lacerate? Oh my. Oh, imagine the harpooner with this? Oh, that's already 4 impales, and then you have this. Oh, that is an enormous amount of burst. Not gonna lie. I think we have ourselves a new build. Interesting. Blade Vortex of the Scythe. This spell creates a swarm of ethereal blades which briefly orbit an area around you, dealing damage every 6 seconds to all enemy radius. Well, it doesn't seem to be changed that much though. Let's see. Let's look up BV. Oh my god, I'm joking. So it basically turns, I'm not sure how many blades are these. I think they may have not reworded the skill properly, because right now it doesn't say anything about any more blades. So I think it's only pertaining to one blade vortex that you can have, like one knife going around you. Because if you can have as many knives as the regular blade vortex and you have that much flat damage compared to this, look at that. Yeah, that's gonna be insane. Oh my god. Holy. I just shared the news to my guildmates. I actually forgot to share the news to my guildmates. Oh. Body swap of sacrifice. So I'm guessing you're using some life. Yeah, this spell deals 210 to 315 plus 4% of your maximum life as base fire damage. Ooh. This could be good for some. This could be good for some strength stackers and life stackers. Explosion deals base fire damage equal to 28% of the minion's maximum life. 20% more AoE if consuming a minion. Holy, dual strike of that and dexterity. Oh! Okay. Attacks with both weapons dealing the damage of both in one strike. Requires a dual wielding different melee. Requires dual wielding 2 different melee weapon types. Huh. %70% more damage with main hand weapon and uses offhand weapon attack time. Wow. So you can basically use a very high speed offhand weapon and just get yourself, a goddamn, like, maybe like a Reaver axe, something with immense base fizz damage. And then you can have a siege axe, the other side that has max attack speed. Ooh, that's interesting. Wow. Earth Shatter Fragility. Slam the ground, sending out rectangular fissures that deal area damage to enemies, and thrust a spike from the ground when they end. The spikes shatter after a duration. Ooh. Almost like steel. Like a steel skill. Interesting. Earth Shatter of Prominence. So this one has a lot of fissures. The shattering spikes deal 120% more damage. Everything is more. Woo! Holy. Woo! That's strong. Even the effectiveness of added damage is big. Wow. Essence Drain of Desperation. Oh yeah, that was the one that we saw during the gem review. Fires a projectile that applies a damage over time debuff. When it hits, you lose life and energy shield equal to a portion of the debuff damage. The debuff is spread by contagion. Okay. Yeah. It's pretty okay, at least, I guess. Then Essence Rune of Wickedness fires a piercing projectile that applies damage over time. When it hits, you are healed for a portion of debuff damage. Oh, this is this one's a little nice. You have a little bit of leech for me. Generate 1% of debuff damage at life. Wow. That's pretty strong though. 1% of debuff damage, and you can scale that if you want. Pretty good sustain. Crossblades of Catabasis. Or Catabasis. Catabasis. I don't know how you're gonna pronounce that. Attacks enemies with greatly increased range, creating a chilling area that deals full damage over time if it hits. Requires a melee weapon. Let's have a look at regular Frostblades. Let's go through anything that is remotely curious. Crossblades. Base full damage per second. Seals area effect and be modified. Ooh, it's a larger strike range. Bigger DOT. Yeah, bigger DOT. It's basically like a ranged basically like a ranged spell this time. Kinda, that's how I see it at least. Galvanic Arrow of Energy. Physical damage converted to lightning. Creates a burst of lightning from your bow, firing no arrows but damaging enemies in a cone in front of you. Ooh! Oh, that's cool. Crackling Lance bow version, anyone? Crackling Bow. Galvanic Arrow of Surging. Fire a trio of electrical arrows that quickly dissipate, vanishing shortly after being loosed. If the arrow's flight is stopped by colliding with a target, they create a burst of lightning, damaging enemies in a cone behind the target. Ooh. That's pretty good for clear. Holy. Damn. Very interesting. Galvanic Field of... Oh, there's a Galvanic Field Edition. I think we can use this as well with our Stormburst build. Because we only have Sigil of Power. And Galvanic Field wasn't added into the game yet when we made the build. This could definitely be a buff. Applies a buff boosting chance to shock. When you shock an enemy while you have this buff, create a spherical field of energy attack with the shock enemy for a duration, which will damage it and other nearby enemies with beams of lightning. Ooh. Deals a good amount of base damage, cannot inflict shock. Base duration is 6 seconds, fires a beam every 0.4 seconds. It's made for Stormburst. It has the same frequency as Stormburst. Can target each enemy only once every 0.8 seconds. Maximum of 1 field buff grants 40% chance to shock enemies. Yeah. It's built for Stormburst, guys. No, I'm just being delusional. Delulu is my Solulu. Ice Crash of Cadence. Slam the ground, damaging enemies in an area. Slams with main hand weapon deal more damage. Slams with offhand weapon have a larger area of effect. Oh! There's a dual wielding Ice Crash. Interesting. Requires dual wielding swords, maces, scepters, or access to use. Interesting though. This could be like a general, you know, all-in-one skill. Attack damage has 250% of base. Wait a minute, that's pretty big. Wait a minute, is Ice Crash really that big? Oh, they actually nerfed it a little bit. 230 to 350%. This is at 250 only, but it has a little bit more attack speed. I guess you'll still have to see. Kinetic Bolt of Fragmentation. Fires a projectile from your wand. that changes direction in a zigzag pattern at regular intervals or when hitting enemies. Each time it changes direction, a secondary projectile breaks off. Ooh, it's automatic torque. Modifies which would cause projectiles to fork, instead cause them to change direction additional times. Ooh, that's cool though. Lightning Arrow of Electrocution. Fires a charged arrow which damages enemies by causing them to be struck by a bolt of lightning. Stick to the final target, causing them to be struck and damaged multiple times. Ooh, that's cool. 30% of physical damage with lightning arrows deal damage. Arrows deal damage final target 4 additional times after sticking. Lightning bolt strike every 0.5 seconds. 10 maximum lightning bolt struck in it. Wow, you can stack them. You can stack the lightning bolts. Oh, that's interesting. Penance Brand of Conduction. Creates a magical brand which can attach to a nearby enemy. It periodically activates while attached, adding energy to the branded enemy and nearby enemies who do not have energy. When the brand is detached, all enemies with energy are dealt damage. So it's like a big boom. Increases in reduction to cast speed, also apply this. Frequency can be attached. Total duration for 0.5 seconds, deal 120% more damage with hits against branded enemy. Ooh, that's pretty strong. Penance Brand of Dissipation. What does this do? This one has huge extra physical damage that gets converted. This is so it has a little less frequency. It takes longer for it to pulse. But it says here that pulses deal 40% more damage with ailments per energy after the first. This is pretty interesting because this could be like something you can try and do if you want to convert the remaining 50% of physical damage to fire. Make it ignite. Could be something. Perforate of Bloodshed. Smash the ground to bring forth multiple spikes from the ground in sequence, able to hit enemies multiple times, requires a sword or axe. Is Perforate gonna be on the menu for bleed? Doesn't require stances again. Has a good chance to cause bleeding. And 88% more damage with bleeding. Perforate of Duality. Oh, this one can change. This one can do things with stance. Smash the ground to bring forth multiple spears to damage enemies. When in blood stance, multiple spikes burst from the ground in sequence, able to hit enemies multiple times. Oh, so it's like a spell echo or some sort. In sand stance, the spikes are thrust outwards. Oh, so this is like the real stance switching skill. That's cool. So you deal 75% less damage with while in blood stance, but you have 5 spikes, so it balances itself out in a way. That's interesting. And the effectiveness of added damage again, 265 compared to 85. Damn. Power Siphon of the Archmage. Oh, I think this could be... Yeah, deals added lightning damage equal to 20% of maximum mana. Oh my god, Hierophants may come back with this. Or, what's that? Hierophant? I butchered that pronunciation. Yeah. Added lightning damage equal to 20% of maximum mana. And it fires a projectile at up to 7 targets. Modifies the number of projectiles instead applied to number of targets fired at. And you also have Culling Strike on it. Holy, 20% chance to get a power charge when a projectile hits a rare or unique enemy. Ooh. Yeah, that's strong. Holy. Rain arrows of artillery, fires multiple arrows into the air to land and see. Ooh, that's a lot of arrows. Starting in front of you and proceeding in a line in the direction of the target. Oh, so it's basically like a literal bombardment. That's cool. 41 fires multiple arrows into the air to slowly land in sequence after a delay, starting at the targeted location and spreading outwards in all directions. Oh, that's cool. It's like an arrow, like a literal arrow shower. Each arrow deals damage in an area around it. However, the arrows will land directly on targets if there are targets in their range. Ooh. Pretty big. Here we go, boys. The Righteous Fire. Righteous Fire of Arcane Devotion. Modifiers to spell damage. Apply to this skill's DOT. Deal 70% of your maximum mana. As base fire. Wow. Yeah. Hierophants are definitely coming back. And Witches. I'm looking at mana stacking elementalists. Yeah. You burn for 90% of your maximum mana per second as fire damage. Ooh. Hey, that could really mean something. That is huge. Oh my god. Yeah. Folks is gonna be very intrigued with this. Scourge Arrow of Menace. Fire an arrow that leaves a spore pod at its wake. The spore pod blooms, firing thorn arrows which travel for a short time before dissipating. Modifiers that cause it to be fired will only apply to the initial arrow. Oh. I guess that's a modification of it. Deal extra damage. Shrapnel Ballista of Steel. Ooh, Shrapnel Ballista Transfigure. Summons a ballista totem that consumes your steel charge to fire multiple arrows with extreme force, breaking them apart into shrapnel. Enemies can be hit by multiple arrows from the same attack. As a bow, steel shards are gained with the call of Steel Skill. Oh. Duelists can use the Shrapnel Ballista now. Oh my god, the champion Shrapnel Ballista of Steel. Could be pretty interesting, since you can augment it with steel skills now. It's very interesting. Storm Rain of the Conduit. Fires an arrow into the air to land at a targeted location, dealing area damage. If the arrow sticks in the ground where it lands and periodically fires a beam of lightning to you, dealing area damage between the... Oh, that's nice. So you can like you can just fire a bunch of these arrows and then just run around and direct them to how they can hit you back. Oh, that's interesting. Like I can imagine using GMP and just, you know, like setting up an area like a cone in front of you, and then that whole cone will just fire the beams to that. And also for bosses, like you can just, you know, keep on firing them around the boss and you just keep running around them. That's really good. Damn, that's really good. I think an Inquisitor can use that. Storm Rain of Defense. Fires an arrow into the air to land at a target location, dealing arrow damage. The arrow sticks in the ground where it lands and periodically fires a beam of lightning toward another arrow near it, dealing area damage between them. Modifiers to number of projectiles do not apply to this skill. Oh, really? Arrows fire beams every 0.2 seconds. Reduced enemy stun threshold. Maximum 2 arrows in the ground. Wow. Okay, so it's basically just 2 arrows, but those 2 arrows fire 16 beams. Or, yeah, they fire 16 beams toward each other. Woo! So that's 16 hits in one. Wow. Okay, now let's look at the Carrion Golem now. Carrion Golem of Hordes. Okay. So you can have even more golems. Carrion Golem of Scavenging. Golems deal 5% more damage per non-golem minion near them. Up to 50% minions regenerate 2% of life per second. Oh, it's basically like the old golem, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Damn. My guildmates are freaking out over the other gems having such high damage scaling. They have every right to be. Minion builds though, my guildmates really like minion builds as well. They still run carrion golems as league starters because it's just so quick to set up. Damn, I'm sure they're gonna enjoy looking at these. Lightning golem of hordes. Oh, so you can also have multiple lightning golems. Nice. Stone golem of hordes. Stone golem of safeguarding. Golems grant 10% of melee damage is taken from your stone golem's life before you. Ooh, that's cool. Your stone golems can tank for you literally now, even indirectly. Tectonic slam of cataclysm. Okay. Slam the ground, consuming all endurance charges, unleashing a fiery fissure in front of you, dealing area damage and randomly releasing a number of smaller fissures branching off from it. So you can use your endurance charge on. Oh my god, Juggernauts are gonna have a nice time. Juggernauts are gonna have a nice time with this. Holy! Tornado shot of cloudburst. Fires a single payload arrow into the air to land at a targeted location. You can then fire arrows out in all directions from that point. What? That's a complete behavioral change of the tornado shot skill. You're basically throwing an arrow grenade. Interesting. It's like an arrow nova or something that you can just fire and then, you know, it lands in an area and then boom. Very interesting. I'm thinking this is like a great way to try in ultimatums, because, you know, ultimatums are basically the same as rituals anyway. They're gonna be in a confined space. You know, if you have enough attack speed, just lob them up, drop, 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 let them explode and run around. Ooh, very interesting. Toxic rain of spore burst. Fire arrows into the air that rain down around the targeted area, dealing damage to enemies they hit and creating spore pods where they land. Each spore pod slows the movement speed of nearby enemies. The pods last for a duration before bursting, dealing area damage. Ooh. So the spores can also explode now? Yo! I think, oh man, it's either we go Stormburst or Toxic Rain champion. Oh no. No. This for me is already insanely strong. This for me looks really good. Zizzarin is gonna have a hard time choosing what build to use. Toxic Rain of Withering. Don't tell me this skill can apply Wither. Each spore pod inflicts one Wither debuff on you. Yo, so you can put that. You can put this in an... What I'm thinking is that you can put this on a Ballista Totem skill. Hear me out. A 4-link Ballista Totem Toxic Rain skill with Withering. Alright? Put in faster attacks, barrage, you know, things that will increase its attack speed to insane amounts, just so the spore pods can spawn so quickly. And then while that's happening, you use your spore burst. Oh no, 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 no. Oh no, no, no. Viper Strike of the Mamba. Holy, is this a Kobe Black Mamba reference? Hello? Hits enemies, converting some of your physical damage to chaos damage and inflicting poison, which will be affected by modifiers to skill duration. If dual wielding, deals the damage of both weapons in one strike. Oh. It's actually pretty strong. Holy. If dual wielding, deals the damage of both weapons in one strike. Bang. Boom. That is actually pretty wild. It's a bit of a shame though that gladiators don't have anything for bleed or like for poison. Because this can be really strong for gladiators. Oh my god, they have, you know, they're closest to the dual wielding passives. They have dual wielding ascendancies. GGG really needs to buff gladiators, like no cap. No cap. Because when it comes to duelists, it's always champion now. You know? The champion can become a gladiator just by bringing the hemophilia gloves, right? And then it has gratuitous violence, you know, once it gets rich. You know? It can do anything that the Slayer can as well. It's great at impales. It has great aura synergies. They really need to buff the gladiator. Like, the gladiator was butchered. The last time that you could use the gladiator properly back was when spell suppression could easily be capped. Because the gladiator could barely keep up with the damage of everything at that point. For me at least, because, you know, our gladiator build during Sentinel was able to run delirious maps. We farmed the mage blood with it. And it was a bleed build, so that was one of the most fun ways to farm delirium maps. But this would be really great if a gladiator had synergies with the chaos damage. You know, like with blood in the eyes, you can maybe just go with more damage over time overall, just not with more physical damage over time. But I'm thinking though, tricksters and assassins are gonna have fun with this. It's just sad though that the gladiator, you know, the gladiator feels so left out. This is already my opinion, guys, okay? Share this to DGG as well. Let it be known. But yeah, this is sad. Like, there's also the dual strike of ambidextrity. Feels so, or sounds so good for a gladiator as well. Because the gladiator can get the passives where it can gain endurance charges. With the offhand, it can gain frenzy charges as well. Yeah, it just has so much synergy with it, but you're gonna have to use the Fortify, Forbidden Flame and Flesh ASAP if you want to be relevant. You know, because dual wielding is not as effective as you think it would be. Not unless you want to become a glass cannon in softcore. Blocking is pretty hard with it. Who knows, but who knows though? Like, I'm curious, maybe Mathil can make something out of it. I'm pretty confident that he can. Some goddamn Mathilification we're talking about here. You know? Literally the sexiest Chad of Path of Exile. Holy. But yeah. Overall, the gems look really nice. Last chapter, this is gonna be like our final chapter for the live stream. I'm gonna add the chapters later. Things that immediately have caught my attention. An impale version of Bear Trap. Pretty interesting to see. Dual strike for dual wielding. With a very unique way to use the dual wielding mechanic. By using your offhand's attack speed while using more damage with the main hand. Single blade vortex that does insane physical damage with it. A pretty strong form of clear for Earth Shatter, and then the very strong stance. No. The very unique looking Earth Shatter, where you can have just one fissure but deals an insane amount of damage. Of course, you have your essence drains here, and you have the galvanic field of intensity. This one for me is very interesting. Which we will try and incorporate into the Stormburst build. Very nice. Ice Crash home. Ice Crash now has alternating radii. I think radii, yeah, multiple radius radii. Kinetic Bolt, forking Kinetic Bolt, pretty good. Perforate has two versions now. One with a good amount of bleeding, one that switches modes while in different stances. This is basically the only skill right now that I see that works with the stances effectively. I have not seen... Lacerate doesn't seem to need stances anymore. The transfigured ones at least do not need stances anymore. Mana-based power siphon. Very interesting. Mana-based righteous fire. Incredibly weird. Shrapnel ballista which uses steel. Very nice to see. This one I really like though. Like lightning. I'm gonna call this a lightning rod storm rain. In the essence, like you, the caster, are the lightning rod, and the lightning arrows are basically the thunderbolts or the lightning bolts. More minion golems as well, or more golems. More golems all around. More golems all around. A very nice tanking stone golem. Strong endurance stacking tectonic slime. Delicious versions of toxic rain. For me, this is very... I'm sure people are gonna freak with this. And then the Viper Strike. Everything is very interesting. Like even the tornado shot. My god, the tornado shot. The tornado bomb. I wouldn't call it a shot anymore. The tornado bomb. But yeah, that is it, guys. Let me know. Let me know what you think about in the comments. This is gonna be the most interesting way to start the league because literally nobody already has an idea. That's the best way to put it. Even though it is as misworded as it is, it's just that chaotic. Nobody has an idea of what to league start with. And then again, when everyone is asleep, apart from us, this shows up. You're really catching people off guard. So that when they wake up, they see the new gems, they look at it and go, holy fuck, just a few hours to league start. What do I do now? You know? It's amazing. The GGG boys are insane. But yeah, I hope you guys have a little bit more of an idea now what the league start with, or if you guys have a second build that you're gonna go through, because what I would recommend is that if there's already an established league starter that people have already talked about, go with that first, keep that excitement with you, and then switch over to these. We are gonna have fun, like fun. That'd be interesting. The only thing missing now is that, you know, if the monsters got nerfed a little bit, and Gladiator got buffed again. But yeah, that's it, guys. Hope you all enjoyed. To the VOD watchers, thank you for sticking around to the end. You guys are the reason why I continue making live streams here on YouTube. On YouTube, I cracked my voice. But yeah, this is amazing. I cannot wait watching in 1080p as well, because I just upgraded my monitor. Everything feels so amazing. That's why my energy is so high. But yeah, see you guys very soon. Oh my god, it's been amazing.